Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator where we're going to be doing Jet 2 Real Ops flight from Malaga to Leeds. One leg today because it's quite a longer one, but it should be fun. We're in jet2.com livery in the Golf Juliet Zulu Hotel Papa registration, and yeah, we're going to be heading down to the UK from Spain. Probably not the most exciting for passengers, but I wanted to fly into Leeds on a more longer flight, so that's what we're doing. This is some freeware Malaga scenery, and it's alright, you know, it's nothing major, but if you do want to pay well one that's better, there is an MK Studios one, if you want to pick that up, but this is a free one, just that had some scenery here really. So yeah. Anyways, it looks like GSX is bugged because the boarding's not really working properly, but I don't know. It is outdated, so I suppose I can't really complain. I'd have to restart the sim if I wanted to update it, so I'd rather not. So anyways, we'll get it right into the cockpit and we'll get things started up. So nothing's happened, I haven't done anything. So first things first is getting that ground power connected. Request ground power. Cool. It's connecting nicely. We can get the battery on now. Get the ground power on now it's connected. Cool. Get the no smokes on. We can get the emergency exits armed. And we can get the window heats on there as appropriate. So we want 4 green lights. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That is checked. IRS is 2 notches to the right to the nav position. Cool. That is everything for now. Next things next is getting our IRS position. When it eventually initiates, oh, there we go, it's done that. So GPS left position, that is the most accurate. So we'll set that as our IRS position. We are at LEMG for Malaga, and we are at gate. Navigraph, please. Navigraph. Cool. Navigraph. We are at gate 50 by the looks of it. So cool. 50. Gate 50. Gate 50. Cool. Route. In terms of our routing, we'll import it into the EFB and then we'll be able to pull it right from SimBrief from the EFB. So current QNH is 1013. It's 24 degrees in Malaga, so nice and warm. Although in the UK it's not been too cold. It's a little colder today, but it's not so bad. So we'll go to SimBrief route, set payload, set the fuel, and we'll select the route. That'll bring all our data in from SimBrief. Whilst we wait for that to load, we can get VORs off on both the first officer's and captain's side, and we'll get the terrain rings on our displays. See lots of terrain around us, a possible threat for departure, but should be alright. Route uplink ready now, back to the FMC. We can load that route now and hope it of course works. So we can detune the ILS frequencies because we don't need them. We are far from Leeds. Barometric pressure was 1013 as stated before. Ooh, the hell. 1013. That is a baro. 1013 in hectopascals, that's why I'm not going to get it. 1013, there we go. Activate the route, execute the route, and that should be our routing in there minus the Sidon star, which is correct. Departure, we are going to be on the BLN 5 Papa departure, transitioning of BLN. Runway 31, and we're going to be arriving in runway 32 at the moment, providing the winds stay similar or the same. So that is all good. Our SID today gives us a top altitude. It doesn't give us one because we are not on either of these SIDs, so well, I suppose we can just get right up to cruise. A restriction of 210 knots for a bit, but other than that we are all good. Transition altitude though for the airport, I believe, is found in here, 13,000 feet, so that is noted. Cool. Awesome, so we are on the BLN 5 Papa, off runway 31, execute legs, check for any discontinuities, and we're all good. I'm not going to do a star because there isn't one, And for seconds, we haven't got an approach, so we don't know which runway we're going to use, so there's no point putting an approach in just yet. Cool. So we'll double check on the plan page if our routing is correct. There's no discontinuities I can see, but you never know, sometimes the route is a bit messed up due to data issues. And there is boarding commenced fully with all the baggage and passengers loaded, supposedly. And that looks good to me, so back to the map page, we can get carried on. So we can get the APU started up now that passengers and boarding has finished. We can get the forward fuel pump on for that APU to start as well. We can get the wheel well light on and the anti-collision light on as well. Cool. The next thing next is the performance initialization page, and we'll just do a request to get our data from SimBrief to make it nice and simple. There's our transition of 13,000 there as well. Always double check your chart for that, because it's not always correct in the FMC. Load, execute, cool. So we are cruising at flight level, because that's often incorrect. 360 is our top of altitude, and it is 350, so 360 please, thank you very much. That should be good. Costing us 6 very low today, you know, is what it is. Alright, so that is FMC programming complete. So I suppose we can get the TCAS to the TA only position. And cool. We'll get the cruising altitude to 360 in here. 360, 360, 360, nearly there. 360, there we go. And we can get the speed in. We'll do a sort of takeoff performance tool. Landing takeoff performance data, runway 31, import the weights from the aircraft, import the weather from the weather database, and we can calculate that, and that's all our data there. Before I do, APU started, so we'll get APU power on these. Thank you very much. Landing altitude for Leeds, it's quite a high airport, so it definitely won't be 0. We'll get the airport information up, airport elevation. Is it going to tell me, or am I going to have to get an ILS chart? Don't think or maybe, no, that's not it. Just shows big glide slope and things. Have you got anything on the chart itself? Elevation, there we go, 662 as of the runway 32 anyway. So we'll do 362 for that runway elevation. So furthest we'll get to that is 350, but I think we should round up to 400 nicely. APU bleed can come on, cool, and I think it's ready to get time for pushback and departure, my friends. So prepare for pushback and departure, please. Stairs should disconnect, but they often don't. Well, pushback has initiated. I'm going to close the door because it often doesn't disconnect it because the door doesn't close automatically, so I'm just going to close the door to ensure those stairs get disconnected.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Alright, cool. The stairs is connecting now, so I can carry on. I think everything's done up here for now, so we can get back to the takeoff performance whilst they get pushback ready. Cell temper 48 degrees, so we'll get 48 degrees in there. We are doing a D rate of standard, so nothing to be changed. Takeoff page, plus 5 degrees is correct. Trim is going to be 5.02, so we'll get the trim set, as it's not automatic in this aircraft. It's 5.02 for that trim. Got no trim controls, so I'll have to use the scroll wheel. That'll do. V1 of 147, V2 of 152, and a V rotate of 148. That is basically correct there, so great. Cool. So we've got an N1 of 93.9% today. Thrust reduction wants to be 1000 for correctness, and that is pre-flight complete. Alright, so we are ready to go now. There's the pushback tug lifting us as required. Nice. Alright, so we'll just get prepped and then we'll get pushback on the go. Welcome in, Ace the Driver. Hope you're doing well. It's nice to see you could tune in. Yeah. Not too sure why that's raised to 550, but you know, whatever. Don't think we've had a WASM crash. No, we haven't, because we can move that. So V2 was 152, so I'll get 152 in the speed indicator. Cool. So I think we just need to release the chocks, and then brakes can be released. Right, brakes are released. We're going to want the nose to the left, to the right, tail to the left. So don't close yourself. Tail to the left. And I assume it's bugged, yes, which it is. Nose right, tail left. Brakes are released. Alright, block time is on the first officer's side. Engine, well, few pumps can come on, and then anything in our center tanks we do, because it's a longer flight, so we'll get the center tanks on as well. So, engine 2 to ground. Start valve open. N1 is on the rise. Wait for that to get to 2.8 or beyond, and then we'll introduce fuel into engine number 2. Cool. Fuel introduced. Cool. Start our flight on New Sky for the airline. And there's the engine starting up there. I'm used to better engine sounds, I won't lie, but yeah, I'm bad. I suppose they're just not as loud, are they? Brakes are set. Engine 2 has positively started, so engine 1 to ground. And we'll get that rised. Start valve open. And N1 is on the rise. 9 hectopascals, thank you very much. And we'll reset that minimums because we don't need those. 2.8 introduce fuel. And we'll take a look at engine number 1. Just get the chat up in a little larger screen. There we go. Cool. Engine 1 continuous, engine 2 to continuous, taxi light on. Go to the overhead panel might as well. Fuel pumps on, well, hydraulics on, probe heats on, APU bleed off, engine power initiated, APU can come off, cool. Logos on, cool. Position lights to steady, well, on. Yaw damper on, and that is everything I think up there. Brakes rejected takeoff mode, flight director left side, flight director right side on, VNAV and LNAV can be armed as well. Cool. So next thing's next is flaps 5 degrees. those flap noises. Get a lovely screenshot. Must have been pretty low water then if he could drive a Jeep through it. Although it is a Jeep, so, well, I suppose it is quite redundant. Anyways, moving on. Getting a nice screenshot there. I think we're ready to go. Just check lights and config. Cool. I am happy, so brakes can be released. And get a bit of power to get moving. And cool. So I'll just check Navigraph to show we know where we're going. So I'm gonna head across here, probably make a turn and then onto the runway really. Yeah, we'll just head it right down really. Where's the turn? That's right there. E. Make a sharp turn to get to that. Cool. I do believe. Alright, so making the next turning to get onto the runway. So I'm going to take the taxiway, not the runway, so we'll remember that leads to the runway itself. This leads to the taxiway to the runway, which is confusing, but if you understand what those things mean, it could be useful. Just gonna get a bit of power because yeah, a bit slow. So we're a bit heavier because it's a longer trip than normal. There we are. Jet to Alicante livery, which makes sense coming from Malaga. It is still Spain, so it's nothing major. So we're there. Probably want to use full length really. Don't want to take the risk of choosing an intersection. Pretty nice scenery though. I mean, it's nothing special, but it is free, so I won't complain in that regard. Get the transponder to TARA ready, and yeah, we'll get on our way to the UK, which isn't cold, but it isn't as warm, so I suppose it's not too bad, but you'd rather be coming to Spain than going, but yeah, whatever. We're going to the UK for fun. And that is quite a big wind, so it's probably a little colder due to the wind, but you know, it is by the coast, so it's not exactly rocket science as to that. Runway turn-offs on, landing lights on, wing lights on, cool. Just get entered on the runway. Here's runway 31. Lovely ground markings from this scenery. Alright, so chrono on, auto throttle on. Let's get out of Malaga. Cool. So we'll get lined up straight on the runway. Windsock is there, so wind's coming from the right side. Cool. That's no problem. Have fun, Ace, and hopefully see you soon. Enjoy the walk.
Airspeed's alive.
I hope it's nice weather, but I don't know. A little windy. Take
2.
Cool.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. A little windy there, but you know, auto brake can come off. It's no longer needed. Here we are, departed out of Malaga, which I don't think I've done before, so yeah. I think I did that alright considering it was quite windy there. It did feel very windy. I had to use a lot of rudder, so yeah, I'm quite glad at how I performed that departure, if I'm honest. Cool. Just get that speed up a little bit. Look at this. It's quite nice actually, the terrain around here. It's not too bad. I don't know if I've got a world update installed or not, because I sort of delete them because they take up quite a bit of space if you have them all installed at once, and it can deduct performance as well. So I prefer not to have them installed, but you know. That speed really doesn't want to come up, does it? I'm helping it though. Like getting that nose down a little. Look at the mountains there. It's pretty nice. Nothing crazy, but it's still nice to see. I want to get flaps 1 degrees. You daft. Let's make a slight right turn. I'm already at 4,000 feet. That speed really doesn't want to come up. Right, flaps 1 degrees. I'm really not climbing now, so please get that speed up. Must be very heavy. I'm not used to being this heavy, I'll be honest. I'm used to flying shorter hops, which are less heavy. But it's nice to have a change. I do like these exotic flights, but they just take a bit of a while, so I tend not to do them. But it's nice to get some time to do one, and have the interest to do one, because it's something different. Trying to get the flaps up now, because we're at 6,000 feet. Get that nose right down then, and hopefully flaps up. Alright, coming up to 220 knots. Flaps are coming up. Making a slight right turn again to follow the SID. Just lock the gear whilst we have the chance. 230 knot restriction so we can get that climb rate up to get that speed sorted out. So trust me, the speed shouldn't be a problem. Please climb. Better with a yoke, wouldn't it? Much better with a yoke. Oh. Pitching up, pitching up. Cool. Awesome. 9 miles from the next fix. Coming up to 10,000 feet. Command A can come on, which is the autopilot in a Boeing, basically. Cool, landing lights off, runway turn-offs off, taxi lights off, engine mode, start selectors to off. Wing light can come off, cool. Seatbelt signs auto. Awesome. Some lovely engine and wing views out of Malaga. Look at that, look at that. Screenshot worthy, just off the coast of Spain. This. Crazy. Alright, so through transition altitude, you can get standard barometric pressure to apply. And yeah, I mean that's about it now, it's just up to cruise and down to Leeds. So I think I'll just give you some nice views and see you in a bit, I suppose. So yeah, enjoy. .800 miles to the top of descending 900 miles, so yeah, definitely not to worry about that anytime soon. Probably get some time acceleration on, to be honest, but I don't know, we'll see how quick the flight goes, I suppose. Yeah, we'll wait to cruise at least anyway. You don't need to get on, we're in no rush. We're doing the one leg anyway. Right, so I'll just see what altitude we're at. Yeah, we're at cruise now. I'd have thought so. And why the hell are we cruising so slow? 250 knots, is that all? Is that all? Coming up here like a Mac 8 or something. I don't know. Anything but this. Like a 0.8 or I need the slash. No. But an A4. A4. No, doesn't like me. Doesn't like me. Well, anyway, it doesn't really matter. I mean, just do it the easy way. Go to auto cruise. Just stick some time compression on. Put in a 2x sim rate. Away we go. Smart feature of the Boeing 737 PMDG. If you ever intercept into a turn, it will stop the time acceleration automatically because it'll read that you're in a turn, and it'll essentially just put it back to 1x sim rate, which is just your standard sim rate. It's just normal time, and as soon as you're out of the turn and it's stable, it'll automatically turn the time compression back on, providing it's still turned on in the EFB. If you turn it on and don't touch it, it just will keep going as you want it to, but of course you know, you want to ensure you're ready for your descents. You can use time acceleration into the descent, but it does make the aircraft a bit unstable, but it's up to you really. I wouldn't recommend you doing it lower than 10,000 feet, just because it can cause some conflict, but it's up to you really, because you just have to be careful with how you use it. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to turn time acceleration on to showcase it to you. Even though it's been out for a while, you probably know how it works. I thought we could use it on this flight because it's a longer flight, useful in these situations as well. But anyways, yeah, enjoy the views. And, yeah, if you want to chat, then feel free. And I'll come on. Oh baby. Thick cloud layer now. It's nice and clear down in Spain, but now we're flying over the Bay of Biscay, sort of heading towards France and then over and into the UK. So yeah, a little cloudy. Now we're heading into sort of less exotic territory, I suppose. You know, we knew what we were getting into in this flight, so I'm not complaining. And that's the aircraft we're using. That is a real-life shot of the aircraft, actually. Yeah, it's the GJ8HP on registration on the 737-800. It's a real Jet 2 aircraft. It's still operating today. It was, of course, given to Jet 2 in 2016, and it's been going ever since. And I believe it's on a flight from Skiathos to Manchester at the minute. I can't remember. I mean, we can have a look. Let's see. We'll do flight radar 24, and we'll find it on here. We'll do GJAS JZHP. Just search the registration up. Alright, it must have finished its flight because it was on a flight to Skiathos the last time I checked. So perhaps it's just finished. I mean, I'll have a look at Skiathos. I think it was Manchester it was going to, but it was definitely came from Skiathos. It's not that one because it's a holidays flight. Manchester. It's not that one because it's a holiday one again. Yeah. Oh no, it was London Stansted it was going to. So it was Skiathos to Stansted, and it finished its. Must have finished its flight. Considering it's no longer shown, if I search the aircraft up, it must have finished. Yeah, it's finished. So landed in Stansted, and that's its service done for the day, I guess. Probably going somewhere else, but it doesn't look like it is. So yeah. But anyways, that's nice to know. It's still in service, of course. Cool. Beautiful. I do like the fact that Jet2 Holiday, the Jet2.com plane, I think the Jet2 Holidays one does as well, but it has a nice shiny sort of engine. You see the like metal bit of it. It's nice and shiny, and you can see a mirror of anything in it. Of course, you can't at the minute because we're only going over clouds, not much to reflect. But if you're on like, if you're under like bright sky, blue sky, you can actually see it reflected. And you might have seen it earlier as we're departing out of Spain. So it's pretty cool if you ask me. Yeah. Also, a new aircraft has been released for the simulator. Before I check that, let's just check, because I've just opened Navigraph on X, and let's check where we are on here. Alright, switched heading, yeah. Same location. No. Yeah, that's fine. Heading into the UK at this point. Cool. So, I wanted to show you PMDG. This is the PMDG website. See that we have finally a PMDG aircraft supported in 2024. Not saying I recommend flying in 2024 yet, but I mean, some people have had good experiences, some people haven't. I personally haven't had the greatest experiences, but then I've had some successful flights as well, so I'm like 50-50 on 2024. I don't like flying it with the A350, but I'm not so bothered about it at the same time, because the A350 has an autosave feature, so really, if you were to crash, you can just load back in where you literally left off, and that's absolutely insane, so it doesn't really matter. As long as it's not crashing like night and day, which it isn't, it's just crashing like every so often. I have done flights in the A320 and been fine, but they were only like an hour flights, so I haven't really had the sort of time to sort of test it. Yeah, I mean, most of the flights I do are about an hour anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. It's just off ones like this that I'm doing a longer one. yeah, 777-200ER, that's the first PMG aircraft to come to 2024, and it's brand new and it came out yesterday. So yeah, if you want it in 2020 as well, it's supported in both simulators for one price. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that it costs as much as it does, because the 300ER is already out, and even if you own the 300ER, you still have to pay the same $77. So yeah, I think that's a little greedy, but I believe that might have something to do with the 2024 compatibility. I could be wrong there, I don't know. As PMDGR sort of money grabbers as it is, I mean, I don't like talking crap about developers, but if you've seen their 737 lineup, the 2020 version, it's crazy. I mean, you've got to pay for the 800, $70. The 700 is also another $70. So even if you own the 800, you have to pay the same amount of money for the 700 variant. And really, I mean, there are differences, but the differences aren't worth $70. And then there's the 737-600, which is smaller and it costs $35. Again, you've got to pay that full $35 if you own another version. It's annoying, really. It is good that they've priced the 900 and the 600 cheaper, because they are the two less flown than this 800 and the 700 variant. So that is at least something. Then you've got the 777 Freighter, which is cheaper because it's of course less well known, I suppose. People are more in the market for a passenger aircraft, but then the 777F might not be flown as much in real life. I don't generally follow cargo aircraft because, well, you can't really exactly go on them, can you? Unless you fly it. So yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd rather get the 300 because the 300 is more widely flown, but the 200 is an awesome aircraft and it's supported in 2024, so it's a hard one really. But eventually the 777-300 will get supported in 2024, so I wouldn't wager which one you get based on the 2024 support, because all of these aircraft are going to get 2024 support. Whether it's going to be free support, I don't know, but the 777-200, you pay one price for it to have it in both sims. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, thought I'd share with you. If you want the 200ER, it is out, but do bear in mind that price. If you already own the 300ER. If you don't own the 300ER, it's not so bad, because you're just paying for the aircraft, really. Whereas you're sort of just upgrading your aircraft if you're getting the 200 and you've already got the 300, so really it should be cheaper. I'm not saying it should be free, because it shouldn't be, because there are differences. But what I'm saying is it shouldn't be $70. I think an acceptable price would be more like Phoenix does, with the 390 and 321. Maybe more like $50 at most. Cheaper if possible, but at most I'd say $50 is what I'd be willing to pay. I assume this is France that we're flying over. Yeah, it's France. It's just coming into France. Seeing as we are getting closer and closer, I am just going to brief our descent. So, yeah, we'll get the charts up now that I've ranted on about everything I want to. Again, nothing against PMDG, they make awesome aircraft, such as this 737, but I do think their pricing could be a little nicer, is all I'm saying. Awesome developer nevertheless. So it looks like runway 32 is still the most relevant, so that is good. So I think what we'll do is we'll use just a standard ILS, because there's absolutely no stars no matter which runway you're using to Leeds, so you've only got an approach to do. So yeah, we'll transition over Leeds Bradford so we get the go around nicely tuned in. So we'll be going right up to Bartner into Papa Oscar Lima, and then we'll have to do vectors to the ILS, because there's absolutely no way of getting to the ILS because there's no arrivals. So yeah, vectors, or in my case maybe we should direct to, depending on what's easier and what I see fits best. And that will leave us with a chart. So for our chart, we're looking at a 110.9 on the ILS frequency. So we'll get 110.9 tuned into the ILS frequency, so set to ILS there. So we'll get 11090 in there, 11090, and check its ILS. Yes, it is. If it's not ILS, it won't work, because there is VOR, there's GLS, which I don't know really why you'd use that, but hey. And there's also a few others, but ones you want is ILS. Next is the course. So according to the chart, the course is going to be 318 degrees, which is shown there, and it's also shown here as well, and here as well. So 3 ways to check that. 318 on the course, so we'll get that set here. 318 here, and 318 on the first officer's course as well. Cool, and we'll put it in the heading as well, just because why not? Makes it simpler if we need to use it, in case of a go around maybe. And let's have a look at the altitude that we need to get down to. So according to this, the altitude we need to get down to is 2,300, but initially it's 4,000. So looks like the runway elevation is 662. So it looks like we need a 700 on the runway elevation, not a 400. So it looks like the airport chart has something completely different to what the ILS does. And I would trust the ILS chart more than the airport chart, in personal opinion. Yeah. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet, that's all good. Go around altitude is 3,000 feet, that's all good as well. Minimums, we're going to be category Charlie aircraft today, so 892 on the minima. So we'll get 892 bugged up on the minima. Cool. Well, get that right up. It's a shame Jet 2 don't fly 737 Max 8s, because it'd be awesome flying that in the Max 8, in the iFly Max 8 in the simulator. I suppose there might be a fictional livery out there, but it's a shame they don't fly it in real life. So yeah, it's a bit of an annoyance, should we say. But hey ho. Cool, that's the minimum set. Water brake should we use today? 160 miles to our top of drop, not too far now. It's not taking long at all with this time acceleration. It's crazy. Just proves that you can do longer flights in shorter amounts of time. And while, you know, you're not going to be doing insanely long flights in 737s and A320s, you're going to be doing longish flights. Like, a flight to Greece from the UK is going to take you a good 5 hours. Some people don't want to spend that sitting in the cockpit. So having time acceleration means you can sort of reduce that time a bit. And it's really nice they give you up to 16 times. Personally, I wouldn't use past 4 times because of stability reasons. Even if you have a 4090, I wouldn't be going past 4 times, because it's not only does it put extra strain on the PC, it puts extra strain on the aircraft itself. So you could end up losing everything because the aircraft comes unstable. You don't want that. Anyways, performance tool, landing en route. Runway is going to be 32. Import aircraft details for the weights. Import weather, so it looks like it's going to have a 1017 on the hectopascals at the moment. It could change, but we'll pre-tune that anyway into the QNH knob, because you can do that in the 737. Winds are variable at 4 knots, it's Leeds, so winds are often variable anyway. 15 degrees, so not too cold actually, not too bad. Not as good as 25, but hell, it was 25 yesterday, so we can't complain really in the UK. We'll calculate that landing weight, so looks like we're going to have to use a maximum water brake. Hopefully automatic works. No? Can't use maximum water brakes. Max manual? No? Alright. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but the aircraft has to be able to land there. It's impossible for it not to be able to land there. We do not have enough weight on board. 66,000 kilograms. I mean, I don't get how we don't have enough. absurd. I don't know, what if flat's 40? No? Right, what if we change the weight? I mean, what's the actual weight of the aircraft? Performance page? Please? Oh yeah, I better tune the ILS before I forget. Departures and arrivals. ILS 32 via Leeds, Bradford and Lex Cuba. Should there was a discontinuity from Hull, yeah. Cool, we're all good there. Yeah, so where's performance page? We'll do a flaps 30, of course. Performance page. Don't think this will have it because it won't go down, will it? So FS actions payload. Do we have a payload in kilograms? I think we do. I don't think we do. Fuel. Yeah, we have 11 kilos, 11,000 kilos of fuel. Well, I didn't know you could do autocruise from the FMC as well. That is nice to see. I hope Phoenix takes the thing out of PMGG's book and puts it in the EFB. It's much easier. You can have it in the FMC and the EFB. Absolutely fine. Just check on that top of descent. Where's the marker? Just there. We're not passing it yet. I better get the altitude bugged in because we'll come up to that quite quick on time acceleration. So it's 2,300 feet, wasn't it? So we'll get that bugged up. Into the altitude MCP, 2,300 feet. Cool. Nicely done. Alright. So, don't think we can see our weights, to be honest. But execute. Can we speed up the aircraft or not? Nope. Alright then. We'll do 0.77 then. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. So 100 miles to that top of drop. So let's see. I don't really think that the landing weight is too bad. So I mean, what happens if we change that weight to 60,000 kilograms? Oh, so it works at 60, so it's not a bug. It's not a bug, so I'm assuming we just have to burn off some more fuel or something to get it, because it will land at Leeds. I am landing at Leeds. It will land at Leeds. I'm probably just calculating it a bit early, because you are meant to calculate it more at your top of descent or after it. So yeah, we'll do a landing dispatch though. Ready, runway 32, import the weather, calculate. So it looks like it's planning to use 6,496 feet of runway. And how much space do we have available on the runway? Check with the Navigraph airport chart. Go on to Navigraph, just increase the size of it. Nicely done. There we go. According to this, we have 2,250 meters and 7,382 feet of runway that can be used. And that says we only need to use 6,496 feet. So we definitely can land on the runway, so long as we burn off all of the fuel that we can coming in to Leeds, which we probably will do. But no matter what, we're going to have to use auto brakes and max maximum auto brake. We don't need to use manual brakes, there's no need, but maximum auto brake will be required for Leeds. I'll have to do the landing en route later to ensure it fits, but yeah. Anyways, still too heavy, so we'll just have to wait on that regard. Cool, still on a 2x sim rate though. That's all good. Awesome. There's us on the EFB. We're just flying over the UK now, so welcome to the United Kingdom, which is actually not too cold today, so that is good to know. There's our aircraft, of course, as well. Nice aircraft. Lovely, lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly, my friends. Lovely jubbly. I don't fly Jet 2 at all. I think this is maybe my second flight ever in flight sim doing Jet 2. And it's only because they do longer flights that I don't fly them as much. But to be honest with you, I actually love the Jet 2 livery. And I wish I could fly them more. But you know, I'm just, yeah. I could do a fake hop, or I could do one of the shorter maybe hops to Salzburg maybe. That's not too long. But to be fair to you, it's probably not much different to Malaga, is it? And I mean, I haven't thought about the time acceleration, so now we have the time acceleration in the 737. It will open up the opportunities. I know that we've had time acceleration for a while now, but I just haven't really gotten to use it a lot. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm going to get a nice screenshot of that actually. It's a nice aircraft. I do like Jet 2. I don't fly them a lot in real life either, because I get discounts with Chewy, so they're the better option really. But Jet 2, you know, not bad at all. I know family has flown with them because they've had to, because Chewy don't fly to where they wanted to go. I believe it was Marrakesh, they wanted to go there. So yeah. And apparently they weren't too bad then, but they didn't like the fact that they used the automated voice for the safety announcement. And to be honest with you, I don't like that either. I'd like a personalised safety announcement. Makes it sound much more formal and makes you take more consideration, I think. Well, that might just be me. Lovely. Cool. So we've got our VREF of 30, 155 will be the final approach speed. So we'll get that sort of there. 155 for that final approach speed. Cool. We've been flying for 2 hours and 6 minutes on the block time and about an hour and 57 on the flight time. So not too bad at all. Of course that is sim time, not real time. Of course, if we had the sim rate to 1x it would be real time, but because we've got a 2x sim rate, it is going to be halved. So really we've done about an hour of flight time in real life, which is accurate because I'd say we set up for about 2:15, so yeah, definitely correct. Cool. Alright, so we're initiating our descent. So what I'm going to do is turn time acceleration off to ensure we don't get unstable aircraft. So auto time compression off. And it should go back to a one-time sim rate, as you see there. So we're back on a normal sim rate. Completely real time now, so we've got, yeah, we're just kind of flying realistically now, time-wise anyway. So what I'm going to do now is get the seatbelt signs on, of course, let the attendants know, give them a ding, and we'll let the passengers know. So we'll get the passenger on. Message to all passengers, we are now commencing our descent into Leeds today, and temperatures down there about 15 degrees, a little windy down there, but other than that, it's nice. It's a nice gentle breeze more than anything. It's a pretty high runway, of course, but yeah, should be due to arrive down there maybe within the next 20-25 minutes. So yeah, please do head back to your seats, ready for our arrival into Leeds with no delays. There's no busy on-air traffic control at the moment, so we should be alright to just get straight down there with no fuss, to be honest. So yeah, I've been your captain today. Hopefully you enjoyed the flight, and hopefully we see you again very soon at Jet 2. I'll leave you with the very lovely cabin crew, and yeah, hopefully we see you all again very soon. Thank you. Alright, so that's passenger announcement done. Cool. I know it was not the most professional, but hell, I was quite proud with that, to be honest. Anyways, enjoy the descent. damn slow? I mean, I have no idea. Why do we have a restriction of 245 knots is my question. I don't know. Well, I don't know. Should we do 280? No, I suppose 250 at least. 250 slash. Execute. Enable 250 knots. Why? Alright, keep to your own accord then. 245, that'll do. It's only 5 knots. Whatever. Let's keep it normal. Yeah, we'll head into vectors soon. Cool. I'll just leave it as it is. 2 hours and 10 minutes on that flight time at the moment. Very nice. That time. That looked like a massive turn there. What? We're not on time acceleration, but that looked like a quick ass turn. Hello. Hey ho. Cool. But we'll get the eyeless frequency tune now ready. Yeah. Little low on profile, but seems to be sorting itself out slowly. Slowly but surely. We are very slow. I mean, at this point, I might as well just get speed interview now, and then put flaps 1 degrees. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I'll just take control of the speed, put flaps 1 degrees out to help. You don't know what's going to happen, do you? We're under 250 knots anyway. What's the point in not having the flaps out? It just helps you, if anything. Help ensure that you don't overspeed. And help with the descent as well, with all the drag that it gives you. We should do some Jet 2 holidays ops as well at some point. Use that livery. Be nice and cool as well. But I do love Jet 2 as in itself anyway. Tower in the UK now though, with all those fields. For sure in the UK at this point. For sure. Cool. That wing flex is crazy. It must be generally windy. Something. But still on profile, so that's good. There's Leeds. It's not too far then. suppose could do. We'll head to Pol, and from Pol we'll just head straight to the ILS. So we want that. We want CI32 there. Execute. So that should eliminate the transition to heading to Leeds Bradford VOR. Yeah. Because we've done that, that's going to sort of confuse the plane a bit with its descent rates, because it'll have calculated based on the route we had before. So we'll give it a minute, let it work things out, and if we need to intervene, we will. That should now lead us right to the ILS, which it does, so that is good. Cool. Yeah, it's going to really get that. And that is why I put the flaps to 1 degrees to help, because otherwise the speed would have gone through the roof. The plane would have just wanted to descend like mad. So yeah. I do wonder if we can do the landing en route now. Import aircraft details. We still can't. That flaps 30. Probably not going to help because, yeah. Well, I suppose if we're doing maximum auto brake, it should land. It will land. Trust me, it will land. I mean, can we do it on sim brief? Because I just want to get a confirmation. Sim brief. Landing weight is 66,000 about. Populate the weather in hectopascals, please. Calculate. So, it says brakes auto. Flaps 30. Landing distance 4,000 feet. So SimBrief is saying 4,000 feet of landing distance and the runway has 7,000 feet to use. So, you know, and it says maximum auto brake there, and that's what we've got set. So clearly our calculations are correct. With the 155, yeah, 155 on the VIA, which is final approach speed. So it must be correct. It must be just something wrong with the calculations in the PMDG, because I know we can land this into Leeds. There's absolutely no way it can't land. You can see that profile indicator is getting like stressed, but it's slowly like coming to life. It's slowly getting centered. But the thing is, if we descend any more, we're going to get that speed through the roof. So we're going to have to just let the plane sort of take control here. And let it do what it knows it needs to do. Because it is sort of getting back onto profile slowly, so I'm not concerned. Getting nice and low now. 2 hours and 30 minutes on that flight time now. Look at that. We're getting closer and closer to the ground. Closer and closer to the green fields. Closer to Leeds. Look in the cabin. Here's the Jet 2 cabin, custom cabin. Can't remember who made it, but hell. Got a nice custom cabin though. Jet2.com seats with the screens on the back of them, which I don't think they have anyway, but sure. I think that's just more PMDG design, and we just decided to integrate it like that. No detail on the seatbelt signs. It's probably one of the worst, like, out of Phoenix and iFly. It's probably one of the worst cabins, but to be honest with you, no cabin at all is fine by me. So considering they have a cabin, I'm happy in that regard. So yeah, pretty nice. Nice custom Jet 2 cabin nevertheless. So, not complaining one bit at all. No toilet modelled, unfortunately, but hell, who cares about that? Right, I'm going to get that speed down to 220 knots at this point. Yeah, see, that profile's getting right back on, but because we've done that speed, it's going to assist it with some spoiler, just because of the descent rate. I'm gonna give it a bit of vertical speed to force it down, really. If you know what I mean. Give it a bit of vertical speed to force it down and let that profile come back to life. Come back onto profile, of course. Maybe do a little quicker, maybe 1700 foot per minute. As long as that speed stays fine, we'll get flaps 2 degrees. And I'll move my flight stick ready for landing. Alright, cool. We'll get VNAV back on because we're back on profile. We're getting too low at this point, so it's good to know. And no, we do not want that. We want to get 220 knots on the speed. Thank you very much. 225 even will do. Get it a bit quicker. Get us down there a bit quicker. Cabin crew seats for arrival. There we go. Cabin crew are advised. We'll get the ding as well. Cool. Runway turn-offs, landing lights, taxi lights can come on. Wing lights can come back on. Engine start mode selectors to continuous. Cool. We're all set. Auto brakes are set. Flaps are coming out. Speed brake is armed. Or it will be armed. Cool. ILS frequency is captured. That is all good. Keeping it at 225 knots. Can't get flat 5 degrees really until we hit 200 knots. Otherwise we'll get the stupid alarm out, which is not PMGG's fault. It's actually the MSFS warning sounds. They aren't realistic, so I believe, is it the iFly or the PMGG? I can't remember, but one of the 737s, it puts an alarm out if the gear isn't down and you're at flaps 15 degrees or beyond. And that's just stupid. You don't need flaps 15 degrees with the gear down. You don't need it. You don't even need flaps 30 degrees with the gear down. It's just stupid. But hell, MSFS has weird things, and that's why modders have to sort of fix them. If you know what I'm saying. It is what it is at the end of the day. Look at that, you can see the hills of Yorkshire as we head into Leeds. Don't think we can see the runway from here, but I mean, it's probably right below us somewhere. And there's some wind turbines. And Leeds is definitely near some wind turbines. So there's Leeds, so it's basically somewhere down there. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the terrain is too great to load in that far. Yeah, we'll just make sure 3,000 feet on the go around. 892, course 318, transition altitude 5,000, wind elevation is about 700. ILS frequency is already tuned and set and captured, so we should be all good for an arrival, my friends. Cool. Coming up to 5,000 feet, so we'll eventually have to get that QNH set to local QNH. And yeah, considering this is Leeds City, the airport is definitely close. It's got to be somewhere over here, hasn't it? If it's there, it's got to be. The ILS is over there. So is that Leeds? That looks like an airport. I think that is Leeds Airport there. Right there. It looks like a runway. So right there where the mouse is sort of circling. That is Leeds Airport. Right, coming up to 5,000 feet. Local QNH can be now set. 1017 in hectopascals. Cool. Keeping it nice and quick on the approach. Two hours and 33 on the block time. All the lights are on, engine start selectors are set. ILS frequency is tuned. Passengers are advised, cabin crew are advised, you are advised. Flaps. 210 knots. I mean, I will get flaps 5 degrees out, but if it gets a warning noise, I'll get them set back to 2 degrees. Cool. Awesome. I'm into Leeds. Get the flight recorder up and we'll set that to recording. Get localizer armed. Localizer is captured. Interesting. Approach mode can be armed then. Capturing localizer already. Crazy. We'll get speed down to 190 knots. Don't know. Probably a little too early. 160 on there. Put it on speed mode. I'm not going to click buttons, I don't know what they do. I'm not... No. I mean, I honestly don't know what it does, so I couldn't actually say if it is a trick. But seeing as I'm on final approach, I'm not doing anything. Get right down. Way too high, so I'm going to fix that. Realistically, it would go around, but who cares? It's a simulator. Glide slope is captured. 154 knots.
1,000.
Gear down. Click localizer way too early. Look at this. Put it at 200 knots. Come on.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
10 degrees.
Too low terrain.
10 degrees.
Too low terrain. Too low terrain.
25, 30. Right, autopilot off, plane's mine.
30. 20.
Go around. There's no way we're doing it. Even if I wanted to. There's no way we're doing it. I tried my best to not go around. But yeah, sorry, but because I'm on New Sky, I'm not falling for. Yeah, I'm not. That's 15 degrees. Gear up. Go around altitude is 3,000 feet, which is set. Commander A can come on. Heading select mode. Get that heading. Put it over there. Get VNav on. Auto throttle can come on. Oh, well, that'll explain some things. Auto throttle wasn't on. That's why the speed wasn't sorting itself out. Yeah, I mean, I've got my throttle in toga mode. So as soon as that auto throttle comes out, yeah, that's gonna be great. Alright, cool. We went around. We were good pilots. And we'll make our way. So no go around. No. Well, I suppose we'll just retune it, I suppose. We'll execute that. Legs page. Direct to CI32. Get LNAV on. Cool. Down we go. 2300 feet, please. Speed intervene. .185 knots. That's 5 degrees, or 10 degrees even. Gonna put ourselves on a vector heading, because otherwise we're just gonna capture it way too early. I'm gonna put us onto a heading, and let the aircraft follow that heading. Get the speed slightly higher to 200 knots. Cool. Put ourselves on like 150 degrees there. We'll vector ourselves back in for the ILS. Get that speed down to 180, 190 even. What speed Right, 15 needs 200 knots, so we'll get flaps 15 degrees. And go direct to the ILS. There we go. Now I'm going to get approach mode armed. Localizer is captured already. A very sensitive localizer here. Get that speed right down. 170 knots. Something not too bad. And get flaps 25 degrees. Yep. Gear down, because it wants to. Watch, once that gear gets fully down, that noise will shut up. Just watch it. It's very windy. See? Now the gear's fully down, that stupid alarm's come off. It's way too early to get the gear down. Way too early. Welcome Georgia and Nora. Welcome back. Back in the 737 in jet2.com colours, as you can see. And we're just arriving into Leeds now. There's the runway. Nice and far out this time instead of capturing it way too early. LNAV and glide slope are armed. Glide slope is now captured. Go around altitude of 3,000 feet can now be set in case of another go around. .75 knots. Get 160 knots now till 4, and then we'll get final approach speed, which is going to be 155. It should really be set, but because we went around, it's not set. No, it'll be 154 now. Up's 30 degrees. All right. Gonna literally have to pull this throttle right back when I disconnect auto throttle. This is Leeds Bradford Airport. Highest runway in the UK. Fun fact. Autopilot off. It's mine. Gear is down. Flaps 30. Auto brake is max. Automatic auto brake. And alright, auto throttle off. Plane is mine.
500. Approaching minimums.
Welcome Chennai Malu Kitchen.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
Should I look
Glide
for the chat
slow.
right now?
Glide slow.
I'm inclusive with who I welcome
100,
in, so
50,
I sacrifice
30,
my aircraft.
20, 10.
There we go, we landed. At 184 foot per minute, not too bad for Leeds. Fairly centred. 360 knots versus stowed manual braking. Auto brake off. Cool. Welcome to Leeds. Vacate here. Not too windy in Leeds today. Not too windy. Nah, I wouldn't rate that landing a 5 out of 10. It's Leeds. 184 foot per minute into Leeds. It's a reward, that. It's at least 7. Meant to get fairly hard landing into Leeds because of the short runway and how high it is. It's quite a hard one to perfect, if you like. Anyways, we will get that speed brake back. Cool. Get the flaps back to up. We'll detune that ILS frequency. Get the engine mode start sectors off. Cool. And we'll stop the replay recording of the landing. So, what gate are we going to use? Commercial apron. And a stand 9, that'll do. Jet2.com. There we go, there's the stand. Well, thank you very much, Georgia and Nora, and I do hope you continue to enjoy the content. Very much appreciated. Landing lights off, when we turn us off, taxi lights stay on, ring lights off, cool. Where is, oh stand, that's stand 8, so what's stand 9? It's here. Turn, a bit of brake, here's stand 9, cool. Chrono should have come off, so chrono off, about 2 hours and 40 minutes on the flight time, 2 hours and 50 on the block time at the moment. So we'll probably end it at about 2 hours and 50 total. I do try my best. I do it as a hobby though, so I do it in my free time, so I'm not going to be the best, but whatever. You know, I do what I can. I try my best. And that's what I like. Lost the power. A little more. That'll do. Brakes are on. Brakes are on. Cool. And that was our flight down to Leeds, my friends. We'll get the ground power connected. Ground operations. We'll get ground connections. We need to get the chocks on first. So we'll set the chocks, and then we'll press ground power. So we can get the engines off. We'll have to power them back on for the replay, but I want to ensure I get deboarded first. So ground power can come on. Cool. Taxi lights off. Logo's off. Wheel well lock lights off. Anti-collision light off. Strobe light steady, and engines can come off. Close the flight on New Sky. Cool. Seatbelt signs off. Hydraulics off. Packs off, because it's not the warmest here. Probe heat's off. Yaw damper off. Fuel pumps off. All of them come off. Cool. And we can request deboarding. Should commence. Yes, so it looks like Malaga was bugged. Probably due to no GSX profile, maybe. But yeah, Malaga, we only had one star at the rear, and no passengers showed. So, yeah. Hopefully, the passengers show, and we can confirm GSX isn't bugged. Although it is outdated, so I wouldn't exactly complain as such. As the doors opening. Hopefully we get some passengers. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. Whilst we wait on that, just review my flight. Cool. So that was our flight from Malaga to Leeds. Nice long flight from Spain to the United Kingdom in Jet 2 colours. Yeah, nice. Said it got 300 foot per minute on Volanta, but Volanta's always harder than what it actually is, so I tend not to trust it. What is the New Sky giving us? Ooh, look at that. 10 out of 10 on New Sky. I trust New Sky more because it's more accurate. But yeah, so we departed on the scheduled time of 12:50. That is nice. We scheduled to land at 15:45, though we did use time acceleration, so I'm not so fussed on that. So we actually landed about an hour early. So yeah, 10 out of 10 though. That's great. Cost of reduced revenue for that time acceleration. Fine on the centre line. Got absolutely fine touchdown, 184 per minute. That's absolutely fine for Leeds. It's not the easiest to butter, so you don't expect to butter really. Thanks for watching, Georgia and Nora, and hope to see you again very soon. Yeah, so that is our first flight of May done, and we got a 10 out of 10, so that is all good for the Airnaut airline. And it looks like passengers are deboarding, so that is good. Good to see. I'll just get a nice screenshot of that. Of course. Suppose we might as well get a shot of this as well. Cool. Then what we'll do now is we'll get a panel state up. Menu, PMGG setup, state load. We'll final approach stage, execute that. Cool. And we'll restart the Qtile script. So that gets rid of all the passengers in that. Cool. And this is IMI builds Leeds Bradford, by the way. I do think this is better than Orbex Leeds Bradford, even in version 2, but you can take that what you will. It's more because of the performance and the quality of the texturing, but, you know, some people have different opinions, to be honest, so I'm not too fussed. Either way, whichever one you get, you're going to get a good scenery, but I do think Leeds is better in my opinion. Any builds Leeds, I should say, not just Leeds. We got the taxi lights from return of on, landing lights on. We get the engine start mode selected as continuous. Get the wheel lock light on. We'll get the logo lights on. Make sure the strobe's the only one that are facing the up position. Cool. Yeah. We'll tune the ILS frequency. It's in VOR mode now. Don't know why. Hell. Get auto brake set to maximum. Get the flight directors back on. They'll have a VNAV, but they won't arm, so I'll go ahead with select mode on, I suppose. In fact, I won't, just in case it messes things up. Flight pressure can be set in hectopascals. Cool. Minimums were 897, so we get 897 on the minimums. $97 on that minimums there. Cool. Awesome. So alright, so we'll get the replay going now. Replay. Pause it, and then it has to go around stage. Cool. We'll review the landing from the outside view. We were well in the touchdown zone. We were pretty centered. They're not fully centered. Yeah, we just kind of smacked it down. We just wanted to get it down. We didn't want to butter it. We just wanted to get it down nice and safely. And yeah, we just made it down really. I'm happy with that, to be honest. So yeah. That maximum auto brake kicked in, and we were definitely light enough to land there because we didn't use all the runway. So yeah, PMDG calculation might be a bit bugged. It's alright. SimBrief gave us an alternate, so it was absolutely fine. Well, that was a nice landing nevertheless. Cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'll leave you with these views. I'll leave you with some music, and yeah, I hope to see you all again very soon. And that is where the stream now ends. So thanks all. I'm going to give you some replays though, so if you do want to see them, stick around. But if not, then I'll see you all when I see you in the next one. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.